and created a team to try to get those kids onto these products. That to me is very, very incriminating when you look at, they know it's addictive, they know it's harmful, and they continue to try to attract younger and younger kids. Big problem for Facebook.
This is easy. This is so easy. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Ty Smith. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to view my content. Make sure that you are following me on all the platforms you see above and below. And ladies and gentlemen, hitting this thumbs up button right here is how my content can consistently be recommended to you, and it helps push this channel's message out in the YouTube shadow banning algorithm world. Yes, it does. Last but not least, double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to the channel, because I'm telling you right now, folks are being unsubscribed mysteriously from this channel, or I'm not showing up in your feed. All kinds of weird stuff is happening, especially around election time. So make sure you guys all do that, and I appreciate it. All right. So this story is something that is very, very important. In fact, I think this is foundationally important when it comes to your children, when it comes to your teens, maybe even when it comes to you. So ladies and gentlemen, guys, this story is coming up because I know it's kind of staying out of the mainstream media. It's not really being pushed out there because a lot of things are overshadowing this, and that is employees are coming out against Facebook, and these lawsuits that are coming out against Facebook is being kind of hush-hush. And reason why it's being hush-hush is because they don't want you to know about it. The reason why they don't want you to know about it because they want you to be completely oblivious to how you are losing your children to social media. Now, I'm going to show you guys this video, and you guys are all probably interested in why did Ty say this is easy, this is an easy fix. Listen to this and I will tell you how. Check it out.
Some of the world's most popular social media sites, and now a judge ruling Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, must face a Massachusetts lawsuit accusing it of being purposefully addictive to children.
Our next guest, who used to work at Facebook, says these companies have finally been caught red-handed. Heritage Foundation Tech Policy Director Kara Frederick is here to explain. Kara, great to see you this morning. You know, it seems to me that every product, social media or any other, wants to make their product more popular. Everyone buy more Coke, buy whatever, Coca-Cola. How does social media walk this line of not making their product addictive, but making it more popular to the consumer?
You know, it's a hard consumer question, business question, but thus far, I think big tech companies have gotten it very, very wrong. And so this reckoning is really overdue. And I say that because we know from all of these lawsuits, Meta was also sued by 41 state attorneys general. And in the discovery phase, we've now gotten unredacted documents that say, hey, we've got these companies dead to rights. They tried to capitalize on elements of youth psychology that would render them subject to impulse, peer pressure, and potential harmful and risky behaviors, and yet they continued to try to make these products more and more attractive to younger and younger audiences. They called, after discovering this, they called preteens, 9 to 11-year-olds, a valuable but untapped audience and created a team to try to get those kids onto these products. That to me is very, very incriminating when you look at, they know it's addictive, they know it's harmful, and they continue to try to attract younger and younger kids. Big problem for Facebook.
So I'm a mom. Listen, I'm paying attention to all of this, and I agree it's addictive. By the way, it's addictive for us as adults. Yeah. I mean, we have to be on our phones for our show, and I have to remind myself, and sometimes my kids and my husband have to remind me to get off the phone. So we know it's addictive. That's clear. But how? I'm curious about what Will was saying, because how is it different than food? I mean, we know they're producing ultra-processed foods that are bad for you and are addictive and make you fat and aren't good for you. So I am curious, what is this balance?
So the research is starting to really harden a causal relationship between younger kids and life satisfaction. You'll find two data points really interesting, I think, and Americans will as well. Cambridge in 2022 in the UK, they found there was an inverse relationship between the use of these products and life satisfaction in sensitive periods of adolescence, okay? So we know that. Number two, 2023, UNC neuroscientists, they found that habitual habitual social media use is actively rewiring the brains of children as young as 12 years old. So yes, while diet and nutrition and whatnot matter, when your brain is legitimately being rewired by these companies and these companies know it and yet continue on, I think that's when, as industry, you have to make a determination and say, okay, we know that we're more concerned about user experience at this point because what we're doing is a net negative for the next generation, and then move forward designing your products in recognition of that fact. And thus far, we do not have them doing that. We have them doing the exact opposite. So I think that's how you tread that line. If you're a big tech company, you look to the user experience, particularly its effects on children first, and then you iterate from there. And these tech companies are not doing it, so they need to be held to account for that.
A big red flag ought to be the fact that most of these big company execs don't let their own children play with their products. Meta issued a statement to Fox Business saying, we disagree with the court's decision. We've developed numerous tools to support parents and teens, and we recently announced that we're significantly changing the Instagram experience for tens of millions of teens with new teen accounts, protected experience for teens that automatically limit who can contact them and the content they can see, but they still don't let their children watch their own product.
That statement wasn't very reassuring to me.
No.
Now, look at all that. Now, I like how that news reporter threw in there, the journalist, whatever. I like how the anchor, I like how she threw in there about the processed food, because that's another subject that I'm going to be talking about on this channel as well. Because RFK Jr., he is definitely somebody that's been on top of this, and I'm absolutely loving this 100%. So, few things in here, ladies and gentlemen. Kids being on Facebook. They purposely formed a team to seduce your children into using this and being addictive to it. The fact that they said is rewiring the brain. Now, I know a lot of my young people are listening right now. My mentees are listening, and they probably like, dude, no freaking way, Mr. Ty. The processed food is for another thing, but we're going to hit on some stuff later on with that. So check this out. This is such an easy fix. What do we do? It's easy. Your children don't get a cell phone. Your children don't get an iPad. They will live. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show right now. No, that's it. My mentees that I mentor, I have a complete contract with them and their parent. Most likely, so let's just keep it real, it's a lot of single mothers. They are not to have phones that they can have in their hands 24/7. They don't have a computer in their room that they can be on anytime they want. They don't have an iPad or anything like that where they can constantly be entertained. Because I teach my mentees and I teach the parents. I'm just telling you, I got to teach a lot of the parents too. It's called entertainment because something is entering your child. Ladies and gentlemen, my sons are 22 and 20 years old right now. Do you know when my sons first got their cell phone? When they had jobs to buy their own cell phones. I can easily afford it, but I didn't. My sons, I'm old school too. My sons them barely had a DVD. We still watch. We still have VHS tapes right now. I can pull some out right now for y'all. They watched the stuff that I watched growing up: Fred Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, things like that. As they got older, we introduced them to new things. They became preteens and teens. Martin Lawrence, My Wife and Kids. Everybody Loves Raymond. We introduced them to shows like that. But my point is, they are intelligent. They are multi-talented. Because when you are constantly being entertained by a phone and constantly being like this, do you understand the ramifications of what's being lost? Creativity, imagination is being lost, and those things are vitally important. There is no way that when my sons were coming up that people are so impressed that my sons can play instruments like their dad: keyboard, drums, bass, organ, piano. You have to understand the blessing and boredom. You will find out that your kids, my mentees, man, they would tell you, I didn't even know I can draw this good. I didn't even know I can play these instruments. I didn't even know I can do X, Y, and Z. I didn't even know I can do these things. Y'all remember back, if you were 80s kids like I am, you remember we made up games? We made up things to do. We created these things. I did some things with my younger mentees, like around, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I showed them how to play freeze tag. They loved it. Now I know y'all like, Fred, Ty, no, these kids don't know anything about that. They didn't even know about hide and seek, ladies and gentlemen. You see what I'm saying? Now, what goes on when you play games like that? Imagination, fun, relationships, connection, exercise, fun. Dopamine gets released and they want to return back to those activities. That's why when we were kids, 80s, 90s kids, maybe even in the thousands, the 2000s. That's why we were so like, man, I don't care, man. It's like 5 minutes left before we get to go to lunch or recess. We were ready to get out there, weren't we? We wanted to play, we wanted to run, we wanted to see some friends from other classes and all that connection. But now, it's being lost. So, the easy fix to this. Oh, it's so terrible what's going on. It's so terrible. Oh, keep your kids off of it. I have a buddy right now, a good friend of mine right now. Got 6 kids. None of this stuff is in his house. Him and his wife are the only ones with phones. See, understand this. My sons, and see, here's the thing. What y'all need to understand is this. Nobody needs to know, per se, what era they're in. My sons, we had people that I knew that had technology and all this stuff, but it did not matter. Your kid doesn't know that. If all you have is a TV in your house where you have them watching DVDs of stuff that we watch, Tom and Jerry, the Bugs Bunny, the Looney Tunes, anything with Looney Tunes, Animaniacs, Chip and Dale, it doesn't matter. In your kid's mind, that's their world. That's their world. You're keeping them safe. You're keeping them protected. You're keeping them innocent. Movies, things like that. They don't need to have a cell phone. They don't need to have a computer for what? Well, Ty, some of the schools require the kids to do homework. Well, let the school give the kid a laptop because guess what? Not everybody can afford a computer. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about how you have to have it. What it is that you don't want to be a parent. Let's keep it real. I'm not saying this to all of you, but a lot of you do not want to be parents. That's why even some of my young men that are fathers in their 20s, that's why I stay on them about being involved in their child's lives. If you don't have nothing to do as a kid and you are a parent and you see that your child don't have nothing to do something with them. Create with them. You are bonding with them when you do it. It doesn't matter if you're teaching them how to draw. It doesn't matter if you're teaching them how to play the piano. It does not matter. You're bonding with them. Even if you just tell your child, let's go do X, Y, Z. Let's go walk. Let's go do this. And while y'all walking, talk about the trees. Do things like that. There's all kinds of things to do, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to have these phones in your hand. They don't. And that's why when I get with my, whenever I tell these parents, if you want your child to be on with this, you have to do these things. And I'm going to form a relationship with your child where they don't lie to me, or otherwise my time here is going to be spent and it's going to be worthless. If you're going to continue to let your children be on phones, have their computer, have their iPads, there's no point in me doing this. They have to not have any of that thing because I want them to be creative. I want them to have their imagination. I want them to have drive. But I'm telling you right now, it's an easy fix, parents. Take it away from them. Take it away from them. Watch how creative they get. Oh, yeah, they're going to have to pretty much decondition themselves from it. Heck, some of them almost darn near go through type of withdrawals. But oh well, you are saving your child's life. Whenever people meet my sons and they see how smart they are, I'm not just talking about, it is not because of me. I'm telling you, the way that they talk, the way that they articulate themselves, the way that they interact with people, is because, ladies and gentlemen, that used to be a thing called normal. Some of my mentees were just blowing out their minds whenever I took, look, I'm just telling you, I'm teaching them things. When I took them to the grocery store and I was teaching them how to shop, how to get food and things like that, prices to look for things that might be in the area where you can buy it right now because it's cheap. If there's something that you can cook today. When I'm teaching these things, I'm going through the store. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, Mr. Ty, how could you go up and just talk to people like that? See, you're so like this. They're so social. They're so social. Then when they get out in the real world amongst people, they're anti-social. They don't want to talk to nobody. Matter of fact, they even walk through the stores like this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an easy fix. It's called being a parent and protecting the innocence of your children and their minds. They don't have to have a cell phone. They don't need a cell phone. Well, if they're at school time, something happened, they can go down to the office and use the phone. Well, what if somebody comes in and if their friend got a phone, they can use their friend's phone. We didn't use those 80s and 90s, 2000 kids. We didn't have no cell phones in school. We turned out to be just fine. And everything that we needed, we ended up getting it in. We just need to go to the office and it's always a way around it, folks. There's always a way around it. Now, I do get some parents, I get it, because some of my mentees, some of the mothers right now, they want their kid to have a phone. Some of them it's their only child. I completely understand it. But we have settings in there where they cannot get on YouTube, they can't get on Facebook, they can't get on Instagram, they can't get on TikTok, they can't get on Snapchat, none of those things. All they can do is make a phone call to their parents or whoever. That's it. That's all they can do on there. So see what I'm saying? Easy fix, ladies and gentlemen. It's called stepping up and being the parent, protecting your children. Let me know what you guys all think by putting it in the comments below after this video. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, get into your cell phone. I know, cell phone, right? And if you have somebody in your contact list that you know that would benefit from this channel, please let them know about this channel and encourage them to subscribe. If you want to see the next video that I would do in chronological order, most likely it's going to be up here. Things that I do as a variety on this channel will be down here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.